The Rams have found their new secret weapon on defense for this upcoming season, as well as a star player for the Rams looking to become an NFL star pass rusher this upcoming season and for many years to come. All that and more on this episode of Rams Digest. Welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. And before we get into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can hit our goal of 4,000 subscribers by the start of training camp, July 24th. Just under 2 weeks left to go, and we're just over 200 away. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can get there, hit our goal of 4K, and turn on that notification bell, turn it to all so you get notified for whenever we post our daily Rams Digest videos covering all things Rams. And now to our main story of today. The Rams have found their new secret weapon on defense, as he is a very important and versatile part of this defense, and that player is Quinton Lake. We got to go over that today, and this story is brought to us by Rams Wire, as we're going to get that for you right now. Quinton Lake was a somewhat overlooked pick by the Los Angeles Rams in 2022 when he was a 6th rounder who barely played as a rookie due to injury. However, in the last 2 years, he's not only become a centerpiece of the defense, but also a team captain and a signal caller. Yeah, this is true. I didn't really remember Quinton Lake being picked in 2022 because it was right after the Rams won that Super Bowl, so the draft was not really on my mind. It was more so, all right, we're just going to look to repeat because it looked like they had the roster to, but that was the injury. Derailed year, and Quinton Lake was a part of that. But Quinton Lake has definitely grown into a very capable player and a very versatile player for this Rams defense, and he is a great signal caller as he's been able to read offenses quite well and has grown into a role as a team captain. Lake is entering the final year of his contract, which makes this upcoming season his biggest one yet. After playing just about every snap last year, he's once again going to be a staple in the secondary, someone who can cover the slot, line up in the box, or play deep as a traditional safety. The Rams' Swiss Army knife is unquestionably one of Los Angeles' most important players for 2025. Yeah, I fully agree. Quinton Lake is the type of guy he's more of a do-it-all type of player. It's like a utility player in baseball. Think of a guy like a Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers. He can kind of just play in every single position that you need him to, and so can Quinton Lake. He could play nickel corner, he could play safety, and he's both safeties, free and strong safety, and he's been someone who's been so viable with his health ever since that rookie year too, playing pretty much every snap, as this Rams Wire article says. So Lake is in that final year of his deal. He's set to make $3.4 million this year. That's according to Sporadic. He's set to make $3.4 million this year, which is not a lot. I mean, again, Quinton Lake's not going to be a guy who's going to take up 15-20 million of your salary cap because he's not some elite defender, but he's definitely going to get more than $3 million on the open market if he has a good year. And this is a pivotal year for him, for his career, for his life, and to see where he ends up playing football next, because the Rams have a lot of big decisions to make, as I talked about in a previous video. If you missed it, go back to that one, about how those 4 defensive linemen, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, and Jared Verse, one of those guys is probably going to have to go in the long run in order to keep the team competitive enough to keep being in Super Bowl contention. How he got here. The Rams drafted Quinton Lake 3 years ago out of UCLA. He was selected on 211th overall in the 6th round, but because of injuries, he just played 63 defensive snaps as a rookie. As we kind of already went over, injury concerns seem to be behind him, as he's been a very healthy player ever since that rookie season. And in 2024, 17 games, 16 starts, 111 tackles, again, didn't really play much in Week 18, 111 tackles, 2 sacks, 5 passes defense, a tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, 76 targets, 51 receptions, 500 yards, 71 yards allowed. And the main thing here that I like is there are no touchdowns and 111 tackles. It means he's a good tackler, he's a good form tackler, in the open field as well, one of the better open field tacklers on this Rams roster. 571 yards on 51 receptions is not great in terms of the amount of times that he was targeted. He did give up some receptions and some yards, but again, he gave up no touchdowns, which is really what you want. 5 passes defense as well, good hands. He's able to get to the quarterback as well. 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks. He's someone who the Rams bring on blitz packages sometimes with Chris Shula, and we'll see just how exactly Chris Shula wants to use him this year more, as we'll get into his snap count a little bit later in this video, and we'll just explain how versatile he really is. And his projected role is definitely going to be a very interesting part of this Rams defense. Lake plays all over the field for the Rams, which is part of what makes him so valuable. Just last season, he played 511 snaps in the slot, 398 as a deep safety, 244 in the box, and 48 on the line of scrimmage. he's likely to remain the same versatile chess piece in 2025 that he's been the last 2 years, especially after the Rams opted not to make a meaningful addition at cornerback by acquiring someone like a Jalen Ramsey. Oh yeah, I fully agree. Again, Quinton Lake is going to be such a valuable piece of this team. Again, we went over who could get cut in the DB room. Quinton Lake is safe. Quinton Lake, outside of Ahkello Witherspoon and Darius Williams, in my opinion, is the third guy who's definitely safe, because he can play pretty much every position in the secondary, as we see. Mainly a slot guy, but he also plays deep safety in the box as an outside linebacker, even in 48 as a pass rusher. He can play pretty much anywhere on this defense, which makes him so valuable. And if you go, that's over 1,000 snaps that he's played on the defensive side of the ball over this past season, which is just so impressive to see, because that's rare nowadays, guys playing 1,000 snaps. You're happy if a guy gets 700-800 now, and just seeing that's great for this Rams team. Like this video for versatility. Quinton Lake is going to be a very huge part of this defense, and I can't wait to see what role he plays. Lake was also an Iron Man on defense, playing every single snap in the first 16 games of last season before getting a rest in Week 18 when the Rams took out most of the starters early. Whether he wears the green dot again or not, he should be on the field just about every play, whether he's the nickel defender or lined up deep with Cameron Curl. Yeah, we'll see, because the type of role he plays, lined up deep with Cam Curl, with Cam Kitchens, and Jalen McCullough as well. We'll see just how exactly those three, that rotation ends up working out. And I want you to comment down below right now what you think about Quinton Lake in his role. Is he another guy who has a chance to have I say mini breakout, because I don't think he's going to turn into a number one guy for a defense, but he can turn into a really nice player that's really talked about more in NFL circles, because I think he's going to get better in terms of receptions allowed and yards allowed for sure. He didn't give up a touchdown as the nearest defender, which I think is a streak that definitely can continue. And with his tackling, he'll be very key in run defense as well, as we saw last season. So comment down below right now, do you believe he'll be a breakout star, and what will his stats be? I will tell you at the end of the video. And why he's important. Every defensive coordinator would love to have a player with Lake's positional flexibility. Chris Shula could put Lake in the slot to cover tight ends and quicker receivers, or he can line him up as a split safety to take away deep passes over the top. Yeah, as we've gone over, he can do pretty much everything for this Rams defense. He will be a key part for the Rams to improve their defense from a bottom 10 unit to a closer to a top 12, 13 unit, because I don't see them being a top 10 unit overall, but I definitely see them improving and building off of what they did in the last couple games of last year and throughout that entire playoff run as well. And any player who stays on the field for every snap is important. Even if the turnovers and game-changing plays don't come in bunches, Lake is still waiting to pick off his first pass and force his first fumble, but his impact and value goes way beyond the box score. He's a great run defender and a sure tackler in the open field, which is why he's at his best when playing close to the line of scrimmage. It's reasonable to think he'll be even better in 2025 as he continues to improve, setting his ceiling higher than ever before. Yeah, again, forced fumbles aren't really that's not everything on defense. Again, you like to see it happen. He's definitely tried to force fumbles, but sometimes it's the other guy's just holding on to the ball. That's not necessarily on a lack of effort or a lack of trying. It's just fair play to the offensive player. And picking off his first pass, we'll see. Again, targeted 76 times is not some crazy amount, so we'll see if his target shares go up again, because sometimes he'll play in the box or at the line, so he's not always going to be targeted. And now we need to get into Quinton Lake's stat prediction. So, for this season, Quinton Lake had 111 tackles last year. I'll go with 110. I think he's going to have a pretty similar amount of tackles as well. I do believe he's going to have 7 passes defense. I do believe he gets his first pick this year in forced fumble. 2 sacks. I'll go 3 sacks. I think he's going to have 1 more sack. 7 quarterback hits. 8 tackles for loss. I think he'll get a little bit better overall throughout his stats. And remember, comment that down below just how well you think Quinton Lake will do, and if he is a breakout star, what the Rams should pay him if he has a good season, or if you think they should let him walk in next year's free agency. Let me know in the comments down below right now. And now we have to get to our secondary story of today's video, which is Jared Verse putting in that work this offseason, and many teams in the NFL are quite afraid to face him. And this story is from Ramblin' Fan that we're going to get over to you right now. By the time the smoke had cleared at Lincoln Financial Field, the Los Angeles Rams battled for their playoff lives against the Philadelphia Eagles. The snow, the travel time, the time zone difference, and Eagles running back Saquon Barkley had combined to defeat the Rams and send them home. While some view the Rams' postseason campaign as unsuccessful, I'm not convinced that this team did not discover something very valuable information about defensive coordinator Chris Shula in his first season as the Rams defensive coordinator. Here's what he's doing. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I fully agree. Chris Shula is one of the better defensive coordinators in the entire NFL based off of what we saw at the end of last year. His grandfather, Don Shula, obviously legendary coach. So Chris Shula knows what he's doing. He has the family experience, and now he has the on-field experience in just his first year. And I can't wait to see just exactly how he grows throughout his second season in the NFL as a defensive coordinator. While Shula may have inherited some defensive building blocks, he was the guy who also had to brainstorm ways to solve how this defense could effectively absorb the absence of retired All-Pro defensive tackle Aaron Donald. And as the final score of 28-22 confirmed that the Rams were heading home, that must be a typo there, shown the door after just 2 NFL playoff games, more evidence appeared that confirmed something else was happening. The Rams pass rush had recorded just 16 quarterback sacks in 2 games. 16 quarterback sacks in 2 games, and a very impressive amount. And despite all the pregame trash talking, rookie outside linebacker Jared Verse did something that few visiting players ever do when playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. He earned their respect. Yes, many Eagles fans after the game did realize how great of a player he is, and even Saquon and other guys were like, yeah, this guy's going to be great. And that's big, because now he knows how to play in Philadelphia. The Rams going back to Philly early on in the season, week 3, where there'll be no snow, so there'll be far less fumbling on our side. So it'll be very interesting to see how that game goes and just how Chris Shula decides to coordinate that game. Now hold that thought and fast forward 6 months. The fact that Jared Verse was named by NFL executives, coaches, and scouts as one of the top 10 best pass rushers makes sense now, and that opens the door to much more where that came from. Yeah, definitely Jared Verse as a top 10 pass rusher. It's close. It's close. By the end of next season, I'd agree, but I think Aiden Hutchinson right now is better. Obviously, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, those guys are better right now. For sure, Max Crosby as well is another guy. Nick Bosa, if healthy, is better as well. So definitely some guys out there that are better, but definitely close for Jared Verse. Comment down below if you agree, whether he's a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL or not. ESPN NFL insider and analyst Jeremy Fowler does an excellent job of explaining the complexity of hoisting Jared Verse so high among his peers, despite ending the survey in a dead heat with defensive end Brian Burns. Ooh, that's another one that's close. And outside linebacker Nick Bonito, not very close. Jared Verse is better. He earned the 10th and final spot over the other 2 guys because he's most feared in NFL circles. Yes, as we have talked about already, Teron Armstead of the Dolphins literally retired because he did not want to see Jared Verse. After the game they saw, I was like, yeah, Jared Verse literally made me retire. So he is definitely feared among NFL circles across the entire league. And while other veterans have plateaued, don't think for a minute that Verse is a one-hit wonder. He was a rookie in a new NFL defense that even returning veterans were trying to figure out. And the truth of the matter is that the Rams' pass rush was a pale shadow of itself to start the season, despite how chaotic and effective it proved to be in the postseason. Oh yeah, definitely. The Rams' pass rush was definitely not fully equipped in the early parts of the regular season. They were not fully themselves at that time. And it'll be key to see just exactly how they can grow and improve from the playoff run, because teams are going to be looking at what Chris Shula did in those 2 games and looking to see some more of the same things. So it'll be very interesting to determine how exactly he can adjust and grow off of those 2 games. First, ended the 2024 NFL season with 4.5 quarterback sacks. In just 2 playoff games, he racked up 2 more quarterback sacks. It's logical to assume that his 2025 NFL season will resemble the playoff production more closely than in last season's numbers. Keep in mind that much of Verse's quarterback pressure is based on his power rush, which he defaulted to most of the time. He has been working in the offseason to add other pass rush moves to his arsenal, specifically adding a speed rush move. Now, with more options at his disposal, the advantage continues to lean more and more towards a second-year veteran outside linebacker. I don't know about calling Jared Verse a veteran just yet, but this is awesome to see. The speed rush is very important. You see a lot of these top pass rushers in the game have the speed rush along with the power rush. And that's exactly what Verse needs to become a top pass rusher in this league, which he definitely can be by the end of next season. Jared Verse has earned the respect of Eagles fans, but he has earned the love, admiration, and respect of Rams fans. The defensive rookie of the year is on to bigger and better things this season. Oh, totally. I think it would be a failed season if he doesn't get at least All-Pro consideration. Probably most likely second team All-Pro, I think, is a failed season. And I think his name will be up there in DPOY conversations, but I don't think he's going to win it. I think it will go to someone more established because he's going to need to have like a 17, 18 sack season, which I don't see happening because of the Rams' balance on the D-line. I do think his sack number might get plateaued at that 12, 13 mark just because there's so many other good players on that line that are able to get to the quarterback at an effective rate. But that doesn't mean he'll be bad. It just means that everyone's going to eat on the line, which is okay, and which is a good thing for this Rams team, and that's how Chris Shula is able to make the defenses so confusing. If the Rams rookie lands among the top 10 NFL pass rushers, imagine where he may land going into his third year after this year. The Rams veteran hype is getting louder every day over outside linebacker Jared Verse as training camp nears, and for good reason. He was a force to be reckoned with in 2024. He could be even more dominating this season. Of course, the Rams defense has other rising stars as well, but for now it looks as though Jared Verse is locked and loaded for an incredible 2025 NFL season. Oh, I fully agree. Jared Verse is about to be on one this next season, and he is going to have a double-digit sack season. I fully believe it. Comment down below what you think Jared Verse's sack number is going to be. I have it at 10.5 or 11. I don't know it can get much higher just because of everyone else on the line, but make sure to leave that in the comments down below. And comment down below your overall thoughts on the defense as well. And that's all for this episode of Rams Digest. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can get 4K by training camp, just over 200 away. And also make sure to turn on that notification bell to all so you do not miss any daily new Rams Digest videos coming at you. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh. Make sure to like this video as well for the defense being a beast in 2025. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Rams Digest. I'll see you soon for another one, and have a great rest of your day.